Okay, you know my story. All right, now let's see what I do with my life.
In 2016, Gypsy Rose Blanchard was sentenced to 10 years in prison for the part that she played in the death of her mother, Dee Dee. While in prison, Gypsy Rose became a cultural phenomenon, gaining many fans, for lack of a better word, and even several romantic interests, as you will have seen if you've watched her show, Gypsy Rose: Life After Lockup. Her case is really complicated. There are so many levels of nuance. She was severely controlled and mistreated by her mother, but ultimately she does take some accountability for the part that she played in her mother's murder. Many people feel like she doesn't take enough accountability, but that could be a discussion for an entirely different video. Gypsy was granted parole in December of 2023, and she was released to live with her husband, Ryan Anderson. She got married while she was still incarcerated. It's now July 2024. Gypsy has already had a stint of blowing up on social media, leaving social media. Now she's come back to social media. She's left Ryan, and now she's back with her ex-fiance, Ken. Oh, and she's pregnant, and we are pretty sure that the baby is Ken's, although the timeline is a little blurry. Gypsy is positive that the baby is Ken's, but they will need to establish paternity because Gypsy is still legally married to Ryan, and Ryan would be legally presumed the father unless paternity definitively established. Season 1 of Gypsy Rose just wrapped, and there will most likely be a season 2. We need to talk about America's messiest sweetheart, Gypsy Rose. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah, and this is Sarah Spills. So what do you do when you commit a crime when you're really young? You get convicted, you go to prison, and then you get out of prison and you still have your entire world ahead of you. Well, I certainly hope I never have to figure that out. O.J. Simpson attempted to write a book, but he was largely a social pariah until he found himself in legal criminal hot water again when he was ultimately incarcerated over a robbery that he participated in Las Vegas. Casey Anthony got acquitted, and she kind of shrunk off into obscurity until actually this past year when she came out with a docuseries maintaining her innocence. The public was largely like, no, thank you. We have this history as a society where we don't want these high-profile people we perceive as criminals to integrate back into society, even if they were acquitted, like OJ and Casey Anthony. It's like, go off and be anonymous somewhere, but I don't want to know anything about you. But that's not what happened here with Gypsy Rose, who pled guilty and served a prison sentence.
There have always been two dominant public perceptions of Gypsy. Gypsy the victim and Gypsy the perpetrator. There's no denying she suffered unimaginable anguish at the hands of her own mother, creating this idea of Gypsy as a wounded young girl who did what she had to do to survive. On the flip side, there's the shadow of the manipulative and unpredictable Gypsy, who baited her lover Nick Godejohn into killing her mother, and who can't be trusted.
I think she's gonna make decisions, good and bad, in other ways, like all of us, and I give her so many passes for
murdered her mom.
But owning,
She did do the time, but
she did. But my point here is, I wonder if it put in the same situation.
Regardless of which camp you fall into, there's still the question of why a woman who's finally experiencing true freedom and deserves privacy would consent to a reality show.
That is the ultimate question. Can Gypsy be trusted? Did she learn how to master the art of scamming from her mother? I mean, yeah, she's obviously a victim, but she is also a perpetrator. And now it's like, is she trying to take advantage of her notoriety? She trying to make mega bucks on social media. She's pitting men against each other. And now there's a pregnancy that coincides with the exact timing of leaving one guy and getting with the next. Shit is just messy all around for Gypsy Rose. Gypsy was released from prison December 28th, 2023. And literally from the moment she became a free woman, she had cameras following her every move. So we saw her come home and start her life with her husband, Ryan. And then we watched along as that relationship quickly deteriorated, ultimately ending in Gypsy leaving her husband for her ex-fiance, a fiance that she had while she was incarcerated named Ken Urker. Apparently, one of the reasons why this relationship originally ended was because Ken is is a private guy and he didn't want to be in the limelight, but he has been joining her on many of her TikTok lives that garner her like 50,000+ viewers at one time. So who knows? Gypsy filed for divorce from Ryan in early April of 2024, and on July 9th, she announced her pregnancy.
I am 11 weeks pregnant. Ken and I are expecting our very first child come January of 2025. We're both very excited. This was not planned at all. It was completely unexpected. But we're both very excited to take on this new journey of parenthood and all of the things that I wished I could have had when I was little. Here I am getting emotional, guys. Sorry. I feel a shift in myself. I have experienced crazy mood swings. Like, poor Ken. If he breathes wrong, I am just like, good Lord. I was just in tears. I'm like, I cannot listen to this stuff. I can't do it. It all led me to be who I am today. And it all led me to this moment right here, right now. And that's a blessing.
If you take Gypsy at her word, the math would line up just right for Ken to be the father, but that hasn't stopped followers from speculating that there could be a paternity scandal brewing. In the season finale of Life After Lockup, as Gypsy is moving her things out of her shared apartment with Ryan, fans spotted a baby onesie.
Can we talk about why Gypsy has a baby outfit in her closet in her most recent episode of her show?
Girl, how are you shopping for baby clothes before you allegedly got pregnant? Gypsy said in another TikTok live that she bought that because she just thought it was cute and she knew that one day she'd like to have a baby. I don't know, you guys. I never pre-shop baby clothes and I've had 2 kids, but let me know if that's a thing down in the comments. Rumors are swirling now that Gypsy was hell-bent on getting pregnant no matter what, no matter by who, once she got out of prison. If true, why? You have so much going on in your life at the moment and you want to add a child? Oh my. With her strong social media presence, she has maintained that she will not be showcasing her child online. I think that is admirable. But then she shows off in a TikTok this little Doppler machine where you can hear the baby's heartbeat. So it's kind of like, do we really believe she's going to be keeping her baby off social media? Or will she try to profit off of her kid? In a different but kind of similar way that her mom did with her. She could be perceived as scamming or grifting at her kid's expense. Because Gypsy is still legally married to Ryan, but again, she is 100% confident that Ken is the father of her child, she will need to establish paternity. Apparently, someone asked about what last name she was planning on giving her baby, and this is what she had to say.
So I've seen people asking, will the baby have Ken's last name, or will it be a Blanchard, will it be an Anderson, will it be a Euchre? And the truth is, I am not 100% sure on that. I've asked my divorce attorney, and you know, what I gather from everything is that if Ryan is kind and will allow us to go ahead and put the baby's name down as Euchre, that could be a possibility. But if Ryan wants to fight it, then it makes it really hard. Ryan knows he's not the father, because I got pregnant during Jazz Fest weekend, and I had already been away from Ryan and not been intimate with him after leaving. So I don't see him putting up a fight for the baby, because he knows it's not his.
I don't know. I had one of my kids in California and one of my kids in Florida, and both times they let you write whatever you want on the birth certificate. So I don't know if it's different in Louisiana, but I could put my kid's name down as Chicken Nugget Diet Coke, and the nurses, they may have looked at me sideways, but they wouldn't have been like, ma'am, that is not your last name. But the one thing I take away from this clip is that she says Ryan is adamant he knows he is not the father. But how wild would it be, you guys, if once this paternity test comes back, what if it shows that Ryan is the father? Gypsy is just making the timelines match up. So if there is overlap at all, I don't know. It's not like she hadn't been with Ryan for months. We're talking like a couple weeks, maybe a week or two. This is a mess. Let me know your thoughts on the Gypsy Rose situation down in the comments. And what are your thoughts of her being an influencer in general? Follow me on Instagram, Threads, and X at Reality Squad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.